Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about what do I need for design for my course. We're going to talk about branding, we're going to talk about identity. I'm Gina Anativia from the Course Creation Boutique, and welcome to another edition of Getting Your Course Done and Out to Market. So I get a lot of questions about branding and identity. Hey Alex. And speaking of Alex, I've got an expert next door. His name is Alex and he's my husband, and he's an art director and a branding expert, and he does all the branding for our Done For You clients and our coaching clients. So he helped me create today's mini workshop, so I want to say thank you to Alex. And we got up to talking, what do course creators really need when it comes to branding, when it comes to design? And we're talking about, how do you want your students to feel when they go to your online course and they click and they log in? How do you want potential clients to feel about your brand identity? And all these things we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to give you 3 steps to what you need to do to get your design done for your course. And let's dive in. Step 1 is gathering all the information that you need. So I've got a list here, and I'm going to list it in the notes above, but I want you to think about all these questions. This is an intake form that we use when we're first working on a client's design. So number 1, who are you? What's your product about? What's your company about? Number 2, what's your title and tag? And you really need to figure out what your title and tag are. And I don't want you to spend a lot of time on title and tag, and maybe I'll talk about this in another Facebook Live, but just think about what talks about the course. How can people understand what the course is? So your title and your tag, then describe a little bit about the program, who your target audience is, who your competition is, because that's important as well, and knowing what your competition has done versus how you want to set yourself apart. And that's the next question. How are you unique? How do you want people to feel when they look at your branding, when they look at your identity? Give them examples. So think about examples that you have liked in the past. It doesn't have to be in your industry. It can be in a completely different industry. And then what colors and fonts do you like? So you're gathering this information because you want to put in for your logo, okay? So that's step 1, is figuring out all this information so you can then go in and get a logo done, because your logo defines everything for your course. So I don't want you to jump in and think about, okay, what am I doing for my handouts? What am I doing for my PowerPoints? Start with the logo and then go from there. So step 2 is building your brand identity and getting your logo done. And thanks, Pam. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So what you want to do is get your branding elements done and figure out what you want for your logo. And like I said, we do this for our clients, but you can go to Fiverr, you can go to 99 Designs, you can go to Upwork. But I want you to fill out those questions that we talked about in step 1 before you even approach a designer, because then you have a solid ground of what you're looking for, and you can talk to a designer in a way that you know what you want. So, and by the way, a couple of tips when you're working with someone from 99 Designs or Fiverr is make sure that you're doing something unique for you. And Alex and I were talking about this the other day, that a lot of times we'll see logos recycled because they've got a couple in their wheelhouse that they use for different clients. So make sure that you're getting something unique. And then 2, make sure you know how many rounds you're getting with them, and rounds of feedback. So initially, typically we do a round 1 where they're just brainstorm, right? Throwing things against the wall, right? And trying out different things. And then round 2, you should be refining, and round 3, you should really be on the logo that you like and just making minor tweaks. So I really want you to think about the rounds. So when you get your logo done as part of step 2, I want you to also get a style sheet. So ask your logo designer, okay, what are my colors then moving forward? What are my fonts, right? And what's my usage? Like if I'm using that color on, say, white versus black, or with and without a tagline, these are the things that you want to ask your designer to make sure that you can use them whatever way you want. You've paid for it, you want to make sure you can use it, right? So you've got your logo as part of step 2. Then step 3, then you can build your templates out. Then you can ask for your handout templates, your PowerPoint templates, lead magnet templates, anything that you need as part of building out the course. But again, it all starts with the logo, okay? So with that logo, you're getting your colors, you're getting your fonts, you're getting that style sheet, so you know what your brand identity is. So step 3, building out all the templates. Okay, so my challenge for you today is 1, if your logo isn't done already for your course, get it done. Think about those questions that I asked in step 1, find a designer as part of step 2 to get your logo done. Or if you already have a logo, my challenge for you is, do you know your brand identity? Do you know your colors? Do you know your fonts? Do you know what imagery you like to use? We have some clients who like icons, we have clients who like Shutterstock, we have clients who said, no, I want authentic photos, and they had their own photos done and they only use photos that they've gotten done. They don't use Shutterstock. So what kind of style works for you? So that's your challenge for today. Figure out, get your logo done. If your logo's already done, make sure you have your brand identity figured out and answer those questions. All right, I hope you enjoyed this design little mini workshop, and I'll see you next week. Take care.